Is Chabad a good thing or a bad thing? It depends. It depends who in Chabad. Chabad is not comprised of one person and one opinion. There are some people that are great, that are part of Chabad, and there's some people that are the worst people on planet Earth. But you have to, understand what the Torah says in order to determine which one is good, which one is bad. As an overall teachings of Chabad over the years, the foundation, the Tanya, Chassidut in general, it's great. It's wonderful. It's holy. It's Kodesh Kodashim. But just because that's what the foundations of Chabad is, does not mean that every person that calls themselves a Chabadnik is actually following those teachings. I mean, a prime example is a Manis Friedman. He claims to be a Chabadnik and a representation of Chabad, but in reality, he's not only not a representation of Chabad, he is not a representation of Judaism. He created his own religion. So, as far as whether Chabad is good or bad, it depends what your understanding or what of Chabad is, who you're encountering. If it's the good side, then it's good. If it's the Manis one, or if the heretic side, then it's not. The original Chabad, yeah, of course. What is the true Chabad? The true Chabad is based on the teachings of, it starts off all with Chassidut of the Baal Shem Tov, and later on his grandson, the Baal Tanya. And Chabad teaches us, number one, that you're expected to complete the Rambam's Mishneh Torah each year. That's an enormous amount of effort and knowledge and toil, which means you have to not just read it, but comply with it. So just understanding how much you have to follow just for Ilchot TeShuva, Ilchot Deot. There's an enormous amount of beautiful Torah in there that the average person does not even understand that it applies to them. So Chabad also says that you have to learn Gemara, you have to learn Halacha. Not just even the Baal Tanya or the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Nobody just learned the Tanya or just the Lubavitcher Rebbe's Sichot. You learn the foundation. Where did the Lubavitcher Rebbe or the Baal Tanya, where did they get their information? From their own Sichot? From their own book? No, they got it from the sages that came before them. Which sages? Like I said, the oral Torah starts off with the Mishnah and the Gemara. When you say the word Talmud or Gemara, it in essence combines two things. It combines the Mishnah and the Gemara. But the point is that that's the foundation of the oral Torah. So a Jew that does not learn Gemara, they can call themselves Chabad, they can call themselves Pikachu, they can call themselves Eagle, they can call themselves whatever they want, but they're not representing Chabad. Why? Because in order to be part of Chabad, you have to have Chokhmah, Binah, Vadat. So even if you tell me, listen, he's a Chabadnik, all day he studies the Sichot of the Rebbe. The Rebbe wouldn't approve of it. Why? Because the Rebbe didn't just teach from himself. He taught from what the Gemara says. He taught from what the Rambam says. He taught from endless parts of the Torah that he understood. So when a person only learns one part of the Torah, then they're lacking. They're lacking significantly. So Chassidut, in general, Chassidut is to do more than the obligation. So we have all of Am Yisrael, whether it's Sephardi, Ashkenazi, Yemenite, whoever, all of Am Yisrael has the rules, the 613 mitzvot. We have Shulchan Aruch, even though the Chabad has Shulchan Aruch Harav, which is the extra customs and different psaks that the Baal Tanya did, but generally speaking, there's not a wide variance and difference between the Shulchan Aruch and the Tanya. Like people think it's like two different religions or two different books. No, it's the Shulchan Aruch is a foundation follow Psak Halacha, and before that it's of course the Rambam. So the point is that a person that does not learn the laws, does not learn halachot, is not going to know how to be a Jew. So they could grow a beard that grows for free, they could put a kippah, even double the size of mine if they want. But that does not make them Chabad, that does not make them even a religious Jew. In fact, what Chassidut is to do above and beyond the law. Meaning, you know that the obligation is the Shulchan Aruch. If you want to be a Chassid, you have to do even more than that. As a simple example, the average Jew has to keep Shabbat for 25 hours, you keep 26. The average Jew could drink kosher milk, you drink only Chalav Yisrael. And all types, you have to, as a Chassid, you have to do above and beyond your obligation. That's what a Chassid is. Chassidut wasn't invented from nothing, a couple of 100 years ago. Chassidut is already part of our Torah from the beginning. You see the Chovot HaLevavot talk about Chassidut, you see the Gemara mentioned Chassidut, but the point is that the average person out there defines Chassidut by exterior garments. How a person looks like, what kind of suit they wear, how they groom their beard, whether their wife wears a wig or not. That's how people determine whether they're Chassid or not today. But that's not what Chassidut is. So the real Chabad is real Chassidut, which foundation is on learning Torah. But even the Rebbe of Lubavitch, not the last one, the seventh one, the sixth one, his father-in-law, he wrote a letter himself that, rebuking people that call themselves Chabadniks, but in reality, they're not Chabadniks. They're defining their connection to Chabad just simply by having fabregans and dressing. He says, no, it's all based on Torah, it's all based on Yirat Shamayim. So, if a person is prepared to do above and beyond the law, the responsibility, and the obligation of every Jew, and they want to do even more than that, then sure, that's great part of Chassidut. It's even more. But if they're not even willing to do the basics, then not only are they not a Chassid, they're not even a kosher Jew. So, a person has to understand what they call themselves and what they get themselves into before they do it, and not just make rules as they go along. We are meant to be a light unto the nations, not to follow their misguided practices. Remember, every Jew has to remember that he's a Jew and she's a Jew. We don't celebrate non-Jewish holidays, even if they seem harmless.